My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon of my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. The Lord comes to rule the earth with justice. Let the rivers clap their hands, and the hills ring out their joy at the presence of the Lord, for he comes to rule the earth. This is taken from the responsorial psalm that we will hear in today's Sunday Mass. The joy at the presence of the Lord, that the rivers will clap their hands and the hills ring out their joy, that you are coming. And what about me, Jesus? When I think about the end of times, do I rejoice, or am I sometimes a little bit worried? Worried because I think about hell. The first reading speaks to us about those who will be burning like in a furnace, all the arrogant and the evil. Do I fear that second coming? Do I look at you, Jesus, as a judge or as a friend? As the hills are busy clapping their hands and the rivers joyfully singing, it's true that today's gospel, taken from Luke chapter 21, doesn't paint a very pretty picture. If anything, it's a gospel that says, brace yourself for the worst. All kinds of calamities and disasters and battles. Nation will fight against nation, you tell me, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be great earthquakes and plagues and famines here and there. There will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven. You will be betrayed even by parents and brothers, relations and friends, and some of you will be put to death. You will be hated by all men on account of my name. But not a hair of your head will be lost. Your endurance will win you your lives. And so, Jesus, you speak to me about these calamities and disasters, even being hated by men. But not a hair of my head will be lost, and it is through endurance that I will win the joy of heaven. Endurance, perseverance, consistency. Don't be afraid of the calamities and disasters and battles, because Jesus wants to be your friend, not a judge. The proof of that is that you are here and now talking to him and listening to his word. Every time you and I read the gospel, we listen to Jesus and we can speak to him. Jesus, what do you mean by all these battles? And how do you want me to endure? Because I do want to win the prize of heaven. Jesus, help me in the real battles of this world to endure, to persevere, to be consistent. If this podcast helps me, then grant me the grace to be consistent, to listen to these 10 minutes with you every day. Maybe it helps me to fix a time and to be consistent every day at the same time when going to work, or if it's possible in my room. And sometimes I listen to the podcast and then drop into a church and pray silently before the Blessed Sacrament, considering the things that I've heard: consistency, endurance, perseverance. And I can share some of the ideas that I hear with my friends because I want to battle The real battle, not only for myself, but for my friends, for my family. I can share some of these ideas. The battle for heaven is a real battle that requires endurance in real time. I've got to admit to you that I like watching TV series, and one of them is The Rings of Power. Don't worry, I'm not going to be a spoiler here, but The Rings of Power is an amazing series that has fantastic battle scenes. You see Galadriel and all the others fighting against the orcs. Battles that last sometimes 10 minutes in the series, or 20 minutes, at most half an hour, because each episode is about an hour. There's this kind of instantaneity about those battles. They happen here and now. And once the episode is over, we go about doing everything else. The battle might be intense, but it's half an hour. And that happens also when we play games. PUBG might engage you in a game for an hour or 2 hours, and you'll be battling. And then after that, you go and have dinner. No wounds to dress, no real consequences. But a real battle is something that lasts much longer. Days, weeks, months, years. And a real battle requires that kind of endurance, consistency, perseverance that Jesus Christ speaks about in the gospel today. The real battle is the one for heaven. Jesus, do I sometimes get carried away and think that things have to happen immediately in my interior life? That I would like to pray and, I don't feel that it's going well, so that at the click of a finger, everything will work. And I will find holiness. I will be holy. Not a hair of your head will be lost. Your endurance will win you your lives. So often, Jesus, you tell me in the Gospels, do not be afraid, do not fear. And I don't want to fear your coming again, because I'd like to be your friend. And it is today that I ask you that I learn to fight the real battle, not the battle that is virtual and online in a game or in a series, but the battle of a lifetime, the battle for heaven. The battle for heaven, which is the battle for happiness, real and lasting happiness. The real battle is that I become your friend over time. That's why spending 10 minutes with Jesus every day is really precious. Just think of it, 10 minutes today and tomorrow. And in a week, it's just over an hour and 10 minutes of prayer. And put that in perspective of a month, and then 6 months and a full year. That is growing in friendship. The consistency of growing in friendship with you, Jesus, teaches me also how to be a friend of my friends, a friend to my family members. That's taking happiness. That's fighting with the arms of prayer. Holy Mass every Sunday. Yes, that hour. Over a period of a year, how many hours will I have been praising you like I am doing today on a Sunday, the day of your resurrection? And my work, consistently trying every day, if I'm a student, to study and to put in hours of study, knowing that they can be hours of prayer. My work, whatever work I'm doing, honest and noble, offering that to you every day. That desire to go to the sacrament of confession periodically, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, whatever helps my soul, consistently, perseveringly, with that endurance that you talk to me about in the gospel. I need not be afraid of you coming, Jesus, in the final judgment, because then you will not be a judge, as Saint Josemaria used to say, but our friend, our brother, our love. You will be my friend, the great friend. Jesus, thank you for this time of prayer and grant me the grace of endurance, putting the arms, the weapons of prayer, of my daily work, of taking care of the sacraments persistently, perseveringly, with endurance. And I know with this endurance I will win the happiness of heaven. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.